On your mark, get set, and get running. Excuse me, sir, but do you think Tide will get this stain out? One more time to show you one more kill. Celebrate all Cardinal sports with us. Look at that intensity. Way to go, Chaz. Sports Night is next.
And that is Chaz's Sports Night highlight. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sports Night. I'm Joe Young.
I don't know if I've ever been that intense. I'm Howie Shapiro.
He is. He gets the band going.
I love it.
And that was their final performance. Or maybe not.
Maybe.
Possible to see a home playoff game still. There's still a chance, actually, for the Cardinals to get a bye in the first week.
Yeah, it's very possible. They win. In fact, if they win this week, there's a really good shot they get a bye.
Well, it's a short week for the football team with the final regular season game on Wednesday at Hopkins. Cardinals have got to get turned around quickly, though. The season started with so much enthusiasm and 3 straight wins out of the gate. But now, after 4 losses in a row, they'll need a win over the Royals just to finish .500. Last Friday, the Cardinals were hosting an Armstrong team that scores more than 32 points a game, and they could clinch the division title with a win. It was even at the half. The Cardinals hung with them through the third. The Falcons flew away at the end. The trouble starts right away in the first. Third play from scrimmage, Jake Van Holzen looking for Sonny Tao. Doesn't see A.J. Stoker. He jumps the route, sets Armstrong up and deep in the Cardinals' end. Defense holds to 4th and 9 from the 18. They call a perfect play. This receiver screen, a wall of white in front of Tyler Everson, easily into the end zone. Failed 2-point conversion, 6-0. Coon Rapids able to get the ball moving still in the first quarter. Bruising run right here from Miles Taylor, and that's just the start of a huge night for him. 3rd and 3 from the 20. Van Holzen on the keeper. Great speed as he slashes his way to the score. Failed kick, and it's 6-6. That definitely gave the Cardinals a spark, and I think I mentioned Miles Taylor's big night. This is an amazing run. Breaks through a pair of tackles right there. Puts out the great stiff arm. Then 69-yard touchdown. The showboating, unfortunately, cost him 15 yards. Assessed on the extra point. Kicks no good, 12-6 Coon Rapids. Just over 2 minutes left in the half. Armstrong with 3rd down from the 3. Quarterback Jake Breitbach on the keeper. Keeps and dives for the pylon. Knee look down, but the guy in stripes says it's good. It's 12 all at half. Falcons strike quickly in the 3rd quarter. Breitbach finds Epperson streaking down the sideline all alone. No chance for anyone to catch him. A 59-yard score less than 90 seconds into the second half. Cardinals able to answer this time. A good drive ends with a 5-yard score up the middle for Taylor. Flips the rock to the ref and starts the celly. Finley kick made it a 2019 Cardinals lead. Breitbach, his 2nd trip to the end zone, a short one up the middle, made it 26-19. That was the first of 3 straight scores for the Falcons. The 3rd comes in the middle of the 4th quarter. Tao can't handle the Van Holzen pass. Bumps right to Tyler Peterson. He takes it back for the score. Gives the Falcons a 40-19 lead. Cardinals out of it with under a minute to go, but another monumental run for Miles Taylor. Breaking tackles, making guys miss, then just all-out speed to the end zone. Marshall Holland escorting him all the way to the end. Taylor had 231 yards, 3 touchdowns in the game. For the Cardinals, just too many mistakes. They lose this one at 40-25.
You know, it was a tough lot. First of all, Miles Taylor, he's a beast. Yeah, I mean, he is a beast, I'll tell you. But those couple of runs, that first one, I don't know how, first of all, I don't know how he got out of the pack. Secondly, that stiff arm, just amazing. I love it.
Well, and he had several where he was dishing out the punishment.
Oh, he does.
He lowers his shoulders. It's fun to watch when he gets going, and it was great for him to have that game. It would have been nice for the team to get the win.
I give credit to Armstrong. They played well. They really mixed run with pass. Did a really good job catching the Cardinals off balance a little bit. And it's a tough one. 4 losses in a row. You got to bounce back because this is the time of the year that they need a win this week, and they maybe have an opportunity to kind of heal up a little bit and get a little extra time before they play again.
Well, only one other game in the division because the other 2 division teams were playing one another. Hopkins, a 26-7 win over Forest Lake, and that means Hopkins and Coon Rapids tied in the middle of the Suburban Blue standings, both at 1-1 now in the division and both at 3-4 overall in the season. Forest Lake 0-3 in their division play, 2-5 overall. Armstrong, as I mentioned, clinched the championship with the win. They moved to 3-0 in division play. They finished with, I think, Chanhassen, but it could be Chaska.
I think it's Chaska.
Okay.
I believe it's Chaska. I'm pretty sure
it's one of the two. Either way, Cardinals finished with Hopkins on Wednesday, and while throughout most of the season you're looking at them on paper, the Cardinals look to be the better team right now. Coon Rapids going the wrong way, and they need something to get them turned around.
Yeah, especially on a short week, it's going to be a little tough, to get things going. But they're a good squad. Love the coaching staff. They'll get these guys the ship righted as well. Well, the tennis team's individual section tournament started this morning at the Reed Sweet Tennis Center in Minneapolis. Unfortunately, it ended today as well. 3 of the 4 Cardinals were able to get first-round wins, with one doubles team making it as far as the quarterfinals. It's the end of the season, but not the end of the road for a young team with a lot of girls looking to be back next fall. We'll start with Caitlin Severson, one of the 2 Cardinals competing in the singles tournament. Severson gets off to a nice start with a straight set win over Ellie Brewer of St. Michael Albertville, but her tournament ended against the 2nd seed from Maple Grove in the next round. Carly Nelson and Emma Newton have been strong duo for the Cardinals all season. They came from behind in their first match to get a 3-set victory over the team from Osseo, but they also lost in the 2nd round, falling to the 8th seed from Maple Grove. Heidi Hanula and Ellen Everhart teamed up for sections. We got a little preview of the Irondale meet a few weeks ago, and they made a good run. They beat the team from Rogers 6-1, 6-0, then beat the 6th seed from Anoka in 3 sets before losing in the quarterfinal.
Yeah, their quarterfinal loss coming to the 3 seed.
Yep.
So a good run for them. They would have loved to have made it that one more victory and been able to compete again in day 2 of the tournament. But a good run nonetheless.
Yeah, and like we talked about, a young squad, a lot to build upon for next season.
Yeah, about half of the girls who competed, 3 of the 6 girls who competed in the individual section tournament will move on. But 3, that means the other 3 will be back.
That would be correct.
There's a little bit of both. Volleyball team had back-to-back home matches last week as they get ever closer to the end of their regular season. On Tuesday, they welcomed Park Center, the only team beneath them in the Northwest Suburban standings. Pirates had a slightly better overall record, but were still winless in the conference. It was a good chance for both teams to find some success before the postseason. Cardinals fired up to get a good start on their homestand. Real tight score in the opening set. Good serve receipt for the Cardinals. They set it up for Olivia Weiss on the right side. She finishes. Cards down 1 at that point. But Park Center is able to stretch their lead just enough at the end. Strong attack by the Pirates. Sydney Rankin finds the seam of the defense. Pirates take the first 25-21. Similar story in the second. Park Center able to play the lead much of the way. Nia Richter with the little putback. Excuse me. Pirates grab the 2-0 advantage. Another tight one in the third set. Cardinals defense coming up big on this play. Julia Galicia gets the stuff. Still early, it's 9-9. It's Cardinals who take the lead and hold on late this time. They set it up for freshman Michaela Wilbur on the left side. She blows it through the block for the point. Cardinals keep their hopes alive with a 25-21 win in the third. Pirates were not to be denied, though, in the fourth. Jordan Fisher fires down the line to the corner for the kill. Park Center gets the win in 4, 25-16, the final in the fourth set.
Yeah, and that's a bit of a mild upset, too, because you look at the record, Cardinals have a little bit better record right now than the Pirates.
It was one they wanted back.
They did, and they'll get an opportunity, I think. Thursday was a big night for the Cardinals. It was their 2nd annual Dig Pink for Breast Cancer event, and both teams got involved. The Coon Rapids and Andover squads joined forces to raise funds for local families affected by the disease. They both sold T-shirts and held other events that were able to get a great crowd to the field house for a great cause. They're also treated to a great match. First set staying very close most of the way. Coon Rapids attacking up the middle with Emma Wright. On this point, she gets the kill. The score was tied 9 different times in the opening set. But the Huskies able to pull away at the end. Haley Ortquist serves up the ace for Andover. They're able to take the lead with a 25-21 win. Cardinals come out flying in the second, able to get the lead and play with it for quite a while. Great play at the net right here. Sam Lom tapping it to the floor. Coon Rapids led by 6 a couple of times during the early going, but the Huskies came on strong down the stretch. Big kill in the middle for Jessica Nelson, and they win again, 25-21. Andover hoping to end this one early. The Cardinals fighting to force at least the fourth set. Sophia Faraki down the line gets the kill. but the Huskies jump out front early. They never really let the Cardinals threaten. 3 aces in the third, and they make it a final, completing the sweep by a score of 25-18.
Yeah, it was a fun night. It was great to see that many people and that much energy in the field house.
Really was.
We haven't seen crowds like that very often in the past few years, and it was great to see that many people. And it was a fun match. Each of the sets was close. That Andover team's pretty good. They've got a couple of really nice players on that team. And again, the Cardinals, a younger team, but a team that is hoping that they can maybe surprise some people here in a couple weeks, or just over a week, as they get ready for section play. They played in a tournament over the weekend. We weren't able to get scores and results. Oh, we were able to get scores and results for that. Look at that.
Look at that.
Always love to see extra stuff. They played in the Jefferson tournament over the weekend. Coon Rapids losing to Redwood Valley 2-0 and to Belle Plaine 2-0 as well. Lost to Minneapolis South 2-1, but were able to beat the Bloomington Kennedy squad 2-1 to finish the tournament with a 1-3 record. And it's interesting because they played Minneapolis South. Now they're playing Minneapolis South again tonight. Monday night at Minneapolis South. Then they have the conference crossover game where they will host Park Center on Tuesday. And Howie?
We'll be there.
All right, swimming and diving team has been very busy the last couple of weeks, and it continued last week with dual meets on both Tuesday and Thursday. Started with a trip to St. Anthony Village for a non-conference meet that presented the Cardinals with a great opportunity against a team of similar stature. It was back-and-forth meet that went right down to the final event. Coach Doug Donaldson really happy about his young team's progress this season. His young stars continue to shine at St. Anthony. Freshman Emma Schmidt showing her skills in the 200 IM. She gets the win in 2 minutes, 35.37 seconds. Cardinals finished first in 2 of the first 3 events, but the score is tied. Move ahead to the 100 freestyle. Another youngster getting it done. 8th grader Laura McCarr making her presence felt. Great race for McCarr, especially the finish, holding off St. Anthony's Zoe Benson, getting the win in 1 minute, 1.21 seconds. Junior Tamala King follows with another blue ribbon performance in the next event, the 500 free. King sets a pace no one can come close to, goes to the win in 5:49.26, nearly 20 seconds ahead of second place. St. Anthony Village had a 4-point lead with 2 events remaining, and the Cardinals needed some big performances. They get it from Megan Schultze in the 100 breaststroke. She had to settle for a second in the 100 fly, but she wins the breaststroke by nearly 5 seconds, and the Cardinals cut the lead in half. 400 free relay, Cardinals go with Ella Hacker, Emma Schmidt, Tamala King, and Megan Schultz. That combination will get them to the wall first in 3 minutes, 50.39 seconds. St. Anthony, though, takes second and third. And if you're really good at math and know this sport of swimming and how to score, that means they finish in an 85 all tie. Now this one comes out, you don't see ties very often.
Hardly at all.
And it comes down to they don't have diving boards at St. Anthony Village.
Oh, interesting.
So they didn't have a diving event. Had they had that match at Coon Rapids, they would have had to dive. They don't really have any divers because they don't have a diving board at their home pool. So it's the home team's decision not to score that event. They didn't score that event. It could have been the difference.
That's crazy. It very well could have. It would have probably been the difference.
It's not a win, but it's not a loss. But more importantly, you know, sometimes it just feels like, man, it's not a win.
It's not a win. Well, yeah, you never want to tie. I mean, you don't want to lose, obviously. And it's
better than a loss.
It's better than a loss, but not as good as a win.
That win.
And they did. Well, on Thursday, the Cardinals went to Centennial, where they were competing in their 7th event in 15 days, a grueling pace at the end of the season. Centennial is a strong team that will be a huge challenge at the best of times. But the Cardinals came in tired and missing a couple of key girls, so there really wasn't much of a chance to challenge the Cougars. There were still some great swims for the visiting squad. No surprise to see Megan Schultz getting herself to the top of the podium. She does it in the 50 free, again at Centennial, winning in the time of 25.65. Well, not many first place finishes for the Cardinals in this one, but another strong showing from freshman Emma Schmidt in the 500 free. A good time for her, 6 minutes, 0.86 seconds. which was her all alone in second place. Cardinals had just 2 first-place finishes, and they were both from Schultz. The meet, the 100 breaststroke, easy for me to say, but it wouldn't matter. Schultz way ahead of the competition in this one, finishing in a time of 109.53. But the Cardinals lose to Centennial by a score of 96 to 76. Yeah, that was a tough one for them.
Yeah, that wasn't your fault, by the way. I may have made an editing mistake on your script there.
Well, I should have probably figured it out before I.
The meet was already in hand.
Yeah.
But it didn't matter because she got the first place easy. And it'll be interesting to see what these girls can do now. Yep. Now you're looking at the individuals. You know, the team season is, well, they have one more meet. They have the Northwest Suburban Conference meet where they will host Osceola Park Center on Tuesday, and that is going to determine the placement for the bottom 3 teams in the conference. But then they have a couple of weeks off before sections. And they've got a couple of those girls, Schultz, obviously, Schmidt, Tamala King, Ella Hacker.
Yeah, absolutely.
They've got a number of girls who have a potential to get section titles and go to state, and maybe even put up some all-state type times. We'll see. Knock on wood.
We would love to see that.
Well, the cross-country teams are hoping for a little warmer, drier weather next week for the section championships, even though they did pretty well last week in less than ideal conditions. It's a little chilly and damp on Wednesday at the course at Elk River Country Club. Got more slippery and sloppy as the race went on. Still, the Cardinals persevered, put up some good times, and even grabbed a couple of awards. Took until the conference championships, but we were finally able to get a CTN crew fast enough to catch up with cross-country Cardinals. Happens on a day when 9 different Coon Rapids runners would put up personal bests. On the boys' side, a youth movement for the home team, 3 juniors finishing at the top. Noah Christensen finished 19th place in 17:32.6. Reed Smith just 18 seconds behind him in 27th. Isaac Johnson finished in a pack along with 8th grader Peyton Martinek and sophomore Andre Kemboy. Cardinals with a solid 6th place finish. Girls' team is smaller and even younger than the boys, with just 3 seniors on the roster and a handful of juniors. It's mostly 9th and 10th graders. But this young team has got some talent, and they got a lot of potential. Junior Sarah Eichstead, clearly a team leader, nearly a minute ahead of her nearest teammate. She finished 34th place, earned all-conference honorable mention. Sophomore Issa Hoagland is the next to the finish line. She takes 66th in 22:19.33. Lila Gilliard is a freshman, turning in the 3rd fastest time for the Cardinals. She's 82nd. Rebecca Weimhold all alone as she gets to the end in 95th. Freshman Akela Lowe and sophomore Aaron Jenkins finished together in 98th and 99th. As a team, the Cardinals finish 12th. And so Eichstead was honorable mention.
Congratulations.
Noah Christensen and Reed Smith were all conference for the boys. Isaac Johnson and Peyton Martinek for sure were honorable mention. Oh,
there you go. Look at there's a graphic.
Look at that.
Hey,
there they are. So the top 2 are all conference. Johnson and Martinek for sure are honorable mention. Andre, you're always going to be all conference in my book. But I'm not sure if he's officially honorable mention, but just a sophomore. And Martinek just an 8th grader.
Yeah, against
so, and the other 3, obviously, as I mentioned, are juniors. Sarah Eichstead, all conference honorable mention in 34th. Issa Hoagland, Lila Gilliard, Rebecca Weimhold, and Aaron Jenkins. A couple of juniors, but no seniors.
Which means good things for the programs, and congratulations to those who receive those honors.
Yeah, they have the 5AA championships coming up next Thursday, and then the state championships are on November the 3rd.
Coming up. Well, the boys soccer team went into the section tournament last week knowing they would be massive underdogs against the 2nd-seeded Bengals. Blaine doesn't have an overpowering offense, but they do have a stifling defense. They had 4 shutout victories, including their first meeting with the Cardinals, and allowed 3 goals in games just 3 times all season long. Coon Rapids hoping to take advantage of the wet and sloppy surface to level the playing field. Good chance early on for Richard Lafaka. Ben Greenberg lays out and gets enough of it to poke it wide. Cardinals able to sustain a little bit of pressure and get a couple of scoring chances in a short period early in the first. Elmer Begic with a strong left-footed shot that's kicked away by Greenberg. Game is scoreless. That is until a questionable call benefits the Bengals. Moise Madimba with a great block helping his keeper. They call it a handball. That call. He pleads his case, but Blaine gets the PK. Dawson Penner leaves no doubt and buries it to give the Bengals a 1-0 lead. Well, that gave the home team some momentum, and they crank up the pressure. Another corner kick, another block by Madimba in the middle, but it goes right back to Ryan Gabler. He makes second chance count. Start of a big night for him. Another corner in the final seconds of the half. Tegan Snyder with a line drive out front. Gabler there to head it to the back of the net, and Blaine goes to the locker room up by 3. They didn't let up in the second. This is Gabler again poking it to Dominic Hanlon. Hanlon lost the one that is going to drop perfectly behind the Cardinal keeper. Gabler had 2 assists in the second half, and the Bengals cruised to a 5-0 win.
Yeah, it was a tough team to go up against, and it was so demoralizing, that call and the timing of it, and it was questionable.
It was questionable, no question.
No question. Especially with the print of the ball clearly on his chest and nothing on the sleeve of his jersey. Everybody was really messy by the end of that night. It was wet and sloppy. But the Cardinals gave a good effort, even though they came out losers of a 5-0 game. But again, just a tough draw. Finding a team that is really hot at the right time. The Blaine Bengals charged in to the playoffs on a win streak, and they keep it going. They beat the Cardinals 5-0. Then they beat St. Francis 4-0. And St. Francis had scored the upset of 6 over a 3, beating Andover in the first round 2-1. Forest Lake with an upset over Anoka, but not so much over Duluth East. Look at what the Greyhounds did to Cambridge Isani in the first round, 13-0. Yeah, the 2 teams in the championship, one's outscored opponents in the first 2 games 14-0. The other outscored opponents 9-0.
It's amazing.
That could lead to a very interesting championship to determine who represents the section at the state tournament. Girls soccer team over in another section, boys in 7, girls in 5. Not sure why, but either way, Cardinals would have liked to have been anywhere else last Tuesday night, because that Maple Grove team is awfully good, and they showed again their dominance. They beat the Cardinals 10-0, and then they followed up with a 7-0 whooping of Park Center. So they're into the championship with outscoring opponents 17-0. My goodness.
They're good. A lot of firepower. They had beaten the Cardinals 9-0 earlier, too.
Just a week before.
Yeah.
Centennial with an upset over number 2, Champlin Park, beat them 3-2. And they get in to try and take Maple Grove off their high horse. But, again, that's going to be a lofty goal. The Crimson pretty good, playing really well, again, at the end of the season when it matters most.
Yeah, and Duluth East on the boys' side, they're very good. A little surprised they only had 1 tally in that game against Forest Lake. And Blaine's going to need that defense against Duluth East. That should be a good game, as you mentioned, as well.
Well, that was also Blaine's best offensive game of the season as well. So things kind of clicking for the Blaine Bengals. End of the season for soccer, end of the season for tennis happening this week, and then we've got swimming is heading into the playoffs, and of course football wrapping up their regular season this week as well.
It's crazy how fast these seasons go by. It just seems like we're just starting the season in the first game of the football season, and now we're down to the very last of the regular. So it goes by quick. We had a little snow this weekend, but didn't stay, but it's coming.
Thankfully.
Yeah.
So that's what our season consists of. Is we got some volleyball on Tuesday, that crossover game against the Pirates. Then Cardinal football team on the road for the final regular season game of the year at Hopkins. Playoffs will not be live, but we will follow the Cardinals as far as they should go, or as far as we are allowed. That's going to do it for this edition of Sportsnight. I want to thank everybody out there for joining us, continuing to support everything we do here at CTN. For the entire crew, including Howie Shapiro, I'm Joe Young, saying goodnight.